back! And following with our recent 7-seater comparison video, this time we're leveling up. We're going even bigger with even more features and even more luxury.
That's right, what we have here is the Hyundai Santa Fe and the Mazda CX-8. Both top of the range, both 2.2 diesel, both all-wheel drive, both 7-seaters, both have 4 wheels, both have 4 doors, both have a pair of wing mirrors, both have a pair of headlights, both can take you from A to B, but most importantly, both cost more than 200,000 ringgit.
Okay. I think we get the picture here. So for this very video, we'll be looking at why they cost so much and whether they can justify their price tags. So without wasting more time, let's get straight into how they look. When was the last time you replaced your cabin filters? Get the Bosch Aristo Premium Cabin Filter online now through Lazada or Shopee. I think we can agree that both have its own charm and appeal, but let's talk longevity. Which do you think will age like fine wine?
You mean like me?
Anyways, I think the CX-8 has this minimalist yet elegant look, and because of that, it will continue to have this premium look for a long time to come.
Very much like myself, the Hyundai Santa Fe stands out a lot more, not because it's newer, but it has got a daring and refreshing look. And it's got presence, it's huge!
Huge? Have you seen the X7?
Hey! Wow, yeah.
Okay, with that aside, let's talk about exterior features now. Lighting-wise, it's LED everything. From the daytime running lights, headlamps, fog lights, and even the rear fog lights for both cars. Both cars also come with 4 parking sensors in the front and back, 19-inch wheels, and a powered tailgate.
As for the differences, CX-8 gets adaptive headlamps while the Santa Fe comes with dynamic bending feature. There's more, the Santa Fe gets the puddle lamps while the CX-8 comes with walk-away auto lock.
All very effective features, especially the walk-away auto lock when you're walking away from the car with your hands full, but I find it just a little too efficient. It locks even when you're still close by. In terms of dimensions, the CX-8 is longer and taller, but the Santa Fe is wider. Ground clearance of the CX-8 is 200mm compared to the 176mm in the Santa Fe. But that's not all. The wheelbase is longer as well, so by right, more space.
Like the outside, I think both cabins stand out with their own distinctive interior design.
The Santa Fe does look quite futuristic. I especially find the horseshoe-shaped dashboard to be really cool. But personally, I'd go with the CX-8. The minimalist look from the exterior is reflected inside here as well, as you can tell from the design of the dashboard and the center console. And with the colors of the materials that they've gone for, like this dark brown burgundy and this black, along with the trims like this wooden trim here and this polished metal here, it gives the car a very premium look without trying too hard. The next thing is ergonomics, and it's very important to me in terms of where the buttons are, how easy they are to reach, my sitting position, and in that sense, this area here I really appreciate. Everything from the radio controls to the infotainment controls, everything is within reach. This car may not have a drive mode selector because it only has one mode, relax mode.
The Santa Fe is not exactly minimalistic, but I do like how it looks. It matches the exterior styling, and it is bright and airy in here, thanks to the light-coloured, modern-looking fabric for the roof lining and the way they designed the dashboard as well. It is a nice, functional cabin.
But the 7-inch center display can be bigger and can have more colors. It is able to work with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's good. It has got Napa leather seats, which is standard across the range now.
The CX-8 has a head-up display, 3-zone air conditioning instead of 2, memory function for the driver's seat, and for those who don't like the sun, there are even sunshades in the second row. Back here, as you can see, the doors open really wide, in fact, wider than the Santa Fe. And this is really convenient if you have baby seats to go in and go out. But what I find to be the most attractive part of the CX-8 is the sitting configuration, because it has 3 different types. It can be either a 6-seater or a 7-seater. In this case, you have 2 seats and a center console in the middle. The other options, you have a conventional 3-seater bench like most SUVs, but my personal favorite is the variant with 2 captain chairs and a center aisle, sort of like a lorong for you to get into the third row, just like an MPV but in the shell of an SUV. And in my opinion, that's how a 7-seater SUV should be. Instead of climbing in, climbing out, squeezing through a hole, a gap, it just takes away the glamour from coming out of a nice vehicle.
As compared to the CX-8, the Santa Fe is not that bad. It does stuff that the CX-8 doesn't come with, such as wireless charging, larger multi-info display which is 7-inch instead of 4.6, drive mode selector, locking differential switch. Yeah, you can go off-roading with your 6 other family members.
To make you feel more like a boss back here, you get this seat adjustment switch on the side of the front passenger seat. So, you can decide on your own how much space you need or want.
True, but I can also be on my captain chair and do this for more legroom and space. It's almost like an airplane seat, but even better. Or rather, in GC's case, it's like a lazy rocking chair. I thought people of a more senior age like this kind of stuff.
Now, why don't we check out each other's third row seat? So, is it easier to get in as compared to the Santa Fe? Let's find out. There is a latch here. That's it. And the opening is actually quite big, so just step in. Wow, not bad. Not bad at all. The extra wheelbase for about 20 centimeters does show back here. You do get quite a bit of space, and the squatting effect is not that apparent because I think the floor is lower. You get cup holders on both sides. That's it. No air vents, no aircon controller, no 12-volt socket. Itu saja.
Alright, let's see how we go about this. Maybe pull the lever here. No, it doesn't move forward. Okay, maybe slide it forward and then recline. No, this can't be right. Okay, but either ways, this is already adjusted to my sitting position. Maybe the other side. Right, so they have dedicated switches here, one at the bottom of the seat and one at the top for the third row passengers. I suppose it's slightly more convenient, but you only get to enter through one side, unlike 2 in the CX-8. So push of a button, it reclines and slides forward, and then you climb in like so. There. It's not too bad, but I'd still say it feels a little more spacious in the CX-8. That being said though, I think the Santa Fe more than makes up for it in terms of features. You have dedicated aircon vents both on the left and right. You get switches here to mess with the second row passengers. But I think the coolest one has to be this. You even get to control the fan speed.
The Santa Fe allows you to choose the speed of the tailgate opening between normal and fast. I've set mine to fast. Now let's have a race again, the CX-8.
This is probably the world's first tailgate opening drag race. Huh?
Yeah? Yeah. Are you ready?
Okay.
In
let's do
3, 2, 1, go!
It's just a tad faster.
And the winner goes to the Santa Fe. Thank you
I
very much.
just can't win races. This is not gonna do well for my losing streak. As for boot space, I think we can both agree that with the third row seats folded down, there will be more than enough space for you to carry whatever you want. But the challenge with these 7-seaters is how much boot space is left when the third row seats are folded up. Now, we may not have 3 tennis balls stuck together for those kind of measurements, but I did bring along something. And it's this. Put my arm here, elbow reaches the end of the boot seal. Put my arm here, the elbow reaches the start of the boot seal. So the CX-8 has easily a 2-inch deeper boot compared to the Santa Fe.
It looks like we have a new measuring standard now for boot space using Eugene's arm. It's detachable, right? You can bring along for our shoots.
Well, you can, but ideally I don't want it to.
Anyway, the Santa Fe has got a lower boot floor, which means to carry things in and out would be a lot more convenient as compared to the CX-8.
I guess I can agree with that. Now, let's move on to what we like about these SUVs. I like these adaptive headlamps. They're quite intelligent. Not only do they shine on all the darker spots of the road, they also avoid glaring oncoming traffic or the car in front of you. When you're going through bumps and all that, you can even see the light projection moving up and down.
As you're approaching the car with your mate and your mate's hands are full, and because you're a boss, you don't bother to do manual labor. You can just have the key in the pocket and watch everything get done for you because you're a boss. Tekan butang.
I also like the walk-away auto lock feature because it's really convenient. Just walk away from the car, hands full, key fob in the pocket, and it just locks itself. But at the same time, it's also the feature I don't like because it's too efficient. While you're walking around the car, from this distance, it just locks itself.
In the Santa Fe, you can set the speed for the tailgate opening and closing.
The other thing I like is how the sound system is programmed. When I'm using Apple CarPlay with Waze and Spotify on, while the music is playing, when there is some Waze instructions, this speaker here will focus purely on the Waze instruction, where the speaker on the left will focus purely on the music. I find it to be quite cool. You can hear the instructions a lot clearer.
The Santa Fe has a feature called Rear Occupant Alert System. So if you happen to forget your child in the back seat and after locking the car you just walk away, the alarm will go off to alert you.
Now, to the things we don't like about our cars.
What I also don't like is constantly having to switch off the auto stop start feature and also to remove the head-up display every time I start a new journey. Why can't it just stay off after I've switched it off?
The Hyundai doesn't come with a 360-degree view monitor, only a reverse camera, which is quite unfortunate for a car this big.
I also don't like the fact that there is no switch to lock and unlock the doors. I may be nitpicking, but it does make a difference.
As pointed out by Eugene just now, you can only get into the third row seat properly through the passenger side.
I also don't like the reverse camera display and resolution. For a car of this stature, to have that kind of quality of display, it's just a no-no for me.
The CX-8 has got auto window function for all its windows, while here, only the driver's side. Not so nice, huh?
Now to one of the most exciting parts of these SUVs, performance. Under the hood is a 2.2-litre turbo diesel engine with 188 horsepower and 450 Nm. It's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission to drive mostly the front wheels, with all-wheel drive kicking in when things get a little slippery. Oh, another thing to note, this one only takes the good stuff. It's a bit of a anak emas. It only takes Euro 5. It's a good thing it's becoming more widely available.
Actually, even if the car is able to take in Euro 2 diesel, just go with Euro 5 because the smell from the exhaust fume is unbearable if you use Euro 2 diesel. With Euro 5, you and your car can live longer.
Anyway, the Santa Fe, also with a 2.2-litre diesel engine, makes slightly more horsepower at 193 horsepower, but 10 Nm less as compared to the Mazda at 440 Nm of torque. It has got 2 extra gears though, and 8-speed automatic gearbox, sending power to all 4 wheels whenever necessary.
Whether it's the turbo or the 2.5-litre model, I've driven the CX-8 many times now, and every time I get into it, I feel right at home. Not only because I am familiar with it, but also because it's a nice, relaxing place to be. I'm also pretty sure that I've used the words gentle and graceful in my review video previously to describe this SUV. And I think if there's one takeaway from this video about the CX-8, that would be it. The power delivery, for example, it can be raw and ruthless when you're rushing home to collect a Shopee parcel, but at the same time, it can be as gentle as the river flows when you just want to cruise. The ride feels very refined, and wind noise is only a problem when you are way past the speed limit.
That pretty much sums up what people say about Mazda cars, but I'm genuinely impressed by what Hyundai has come up with. The NVH level in here is great. We realized it when we were going through our footage in my earlier review. You can hardly hear the engine and the road noise.
As for power delivery, it is smooth and at the same time very eager and ready for your push. Definitely punchier as compared to the Jimba Itai's linear power delivery, which I'm pretty sure EJ would describe it as refined.
If I have to use one word to describe the CX-8, it would be refined. Whether it's power delivery or how the suspension feels, all the unpleasant sensations you get from driving a car, this one blocks most of them out. And I think for a 200,000 ringgit car, that's what you want and expect. Not all 200,000 ringgit cars are this refined. Not even the German alternatives at the same price. Really, trust me. Just go and try them out, compare them, and you know what I'm talking about. For a diesel, it's surprisingly quiet. I've taken my family out in this at least twice now, more recently last weekend. And yet again, my dad, who was sitting in front, went like, "Huh? This is a diesel? Whoa!" I think that reaction says it all. I don't have to add any more to it. I don't think GC can say the same about his 2-ton lorry though.
Well, Mazda's Skyactiv technology is known for their unusually high compression ratio in a petrol engine and unusually low compression ratio for their diesel engine. So it's quieter, but it is still very much diesel-y lah, huh? Even for a normal high compression ratio in here, it's actually not that bad. Well, you can't expect it to be as smooth as a 3.5 litre naturally aspirated V6 engine in a Lexus lah, right?
It is a diesel powertrain. You hear it and you feel it. But this part of the diesel-y disadvantage is forgotten on the highway at speed. This setup makes perfect sense. Torquey power delivery with very planted drive, and you get plenty of kilometers from a tank of diesel fuel. It is a great cruiser.
There is one big but though in all this. The ride may be comfortable and quiet, but sometimes I feel the suspension is just a little too soft. When I'm going a little faster, especially through the bends, I wish it was a little more planted, a little more composed.
That's right, he wished that he's in here in the Santa Fe because the steering is more responsive. The suspension is just right, it is not soft and boingy, and the throttle response is predictive. So it's a lot sharper and more composed in here.
That one feels more eager to go every time you go near the throttle pedal. It's more engaging, but I don't know, in a family car like this, personally, I prefer the more relaxing vibe in the CX-8. Unlike the Santa Fe, this one comes with plenty of driver assistance features. You get adaptive headlights, autonomous braking front and back, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert, and the last two you even get to see on the head-up display. Do they both justify their price tags? Well, I may sound like I'm hard selling these two SUVs, but I think if you list down all your requirements for a 7-seater family car, whether it's performance, space or comfort, these two will easily tick most of the boxes. And they're almost similarly priced as well. This high-spec 2.2-litre turbo diesel model starts from 205,000 ringgit.
The Santa Fe is 210,000 ringgit, slightly more. And like I said in my full review video, it does come with some missing items if you compare it with its closest rival, the CX-8. But if you look at it closely as a whole, I can also argue that the CX-8 comes with some missing items as well. No creature comfort in the third row seats, no unique features like the rear occupant alert system or the auto open tailgate, no driving modes, no locking differential. So don't you think the Santa Fe is a more versatile car? While the CX-8 has a more family-oriented appeal, I can see project managers or civil engineers at building sites using the Santa Fe as a complete package. It is a well-built car, it is capable of going off-roading, it can take you outstation long-distance drives comfortably. It is also a family car that can sit 7 people. This is a solid and macho-looking car.
So is the Mazda CX-8 the 7-seater for you? If space and comfort is your priority with perhaps a touch of luxury, then you should definitely have a look at one of these.
But if you're looking for a unique looking SUV that can be your daily workhorse, take you outstation, take you off-roading even, and at the same time it can be a very comfortable people carrier, then the Hyundai Santa Fe is for you. If you want to find out more about the Hyundai Santa Fe or the Mazda CX-8, do log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you like this video, do give us a thumbs up, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking on the logo or the subscribe button below.
Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon for the latest notifications on our newest videos. I've also noticed you've been checking out our t-shirts. They're a limited edition, but still available. Check it out at the AutoBuzz.shop. The link is in the description below. When was the last time you replaced your cabin filters? Get the Bosch Aristo Premium Cabin Filter online now through Lazada or Shopee.